Hello everyone, welcome back. So today we're going to be having a look at Valentino Uomo Noir Absolu. The company has given us this description of the fragrance. The Italian elegance of iris is transformed through sandalwood, cinnamon, pepper and a precious veil of incense for a modern exploration of the intimate richness of high perfumery. What a load of looks. Hello everyone, welcome back. So today we're going to be having a look at Valentino Uomo Noir Absolu. Now the perfumer on this one is Sophie Larbe. The original fragrance Valentino Uomo the Eau de Toilette was released in 2014 and the perfumer on that one was Olivier Polge, the original perfumer for Dior Homme, which has now been reformulated and done by Francois Demachy, but he did the original version, and Valentino Uomo was widely seen as taking a lot of cues from that one with a kind of lipsticky iris kind of theme going through it that we had with all the Dior Homme fragrances as well. Then we had in 2016 Valentino Uomo Intense, released to probably even greater acclaim than the original. This was an eau de parfum, richened things up, thickened things up a little bit more like maybe a dark chocolate note in there, where the other one had a kind of sweet hazelnut chocolate. This one a little bit darker and bitter in the chocolate note that you got in there, but also quite sweet actually as well, more powerful and a bit like the equivalent thing of Dior Homme Intense to Dior Homme EDT. We had the same kind of thing going on here, but it's got its own smell. I think it was also Olivier Polge. I'll have to, maybe you guys can check that, but I think it was the same perfumer for the Eau de Parfum. Excellent fragrance, really like that one, at least a 9 out of 10, one of the best designer fragrances on our shelves at the moment. So Noir Absolu, quite a lot of people excited about this one. The price for this one is £89 on the Valentino Uomo, on the Valentino website in the UK. That's a 100ml bottle. I think that's the only size you can get it in. I believe it's still only available in terms of shops in Harrods here in the UK, and I think you can get it in the USA because we've seen some other people review it, but again I don't think it's really widely available in all the stores at the moment. Hopefully that's going to happen soon. So the notes on this one, they've just listed cinnamon, pepper, sandalwood and incense in no particular order in terms of top, base and mid on the company's website. They also mentioned iris in the blurb there, so I'm going to include iris as a fragrance note. Other people have reviewed it. Carlos the Brooklyn fragrance lover did it with Stephen from Red Essence. They both really liked it. Sebastian from Smelling Great Fragrance Reviews has also reviewed it, liked the opening, but overall wasn't that wowed by it at all. What, let's find out, does Mr. Stink think? Okay, so I've had this one for about a week and I've been wearing it quite a bit, so I'm going to call this a review, not a first impression, but maybe over time I might change my opinion, come back to it, do it some future lists and that kind of thing, but let's just call it a review rather than a first impressions. So really nice opening. I definitely get cinnamon. Sebastian said he didn't pick up on the cinnamon, but I did find that there was quite a noticeable cinnamon and a very rich, sensuous, mysterious, sensual kind of opening on this one. Spicy, sweet, rich and seductive. Lovely opening. It reminded me a little bit actually of Givenchy Gentleman Only Absolute in the cinnamon note, but this one's a little bit darker and heavier than that one. That one's a little bit lighter for me, but also quite like that fragrance. So a lovely opening, very nice. That quickly changes so that the strength of that cinnamon note in the opening seems to go down a little bit, and then what you're left with is a nice peppery sandalwood incense kind of combination. Some people have also mentioned a similarity with Tom Ford's Black Orchid, and I can see that there is a similarity. It's got this kind of maybe dark kind of truffle-esque note in there and a little bit of a dark, maybe gothic feel about this fragrance. So the company are talking about the richness of high perfumery, so it does have a little bit more of a leaning niche kind of smell, as indeed it does Tom Ford's Black Orchid, although I think it's officially part of the designer fragrances from the Tom Ford lineup. So really interesting and quite different fragrance. So of course many of you will want to know the comparison with Valentino Uomo Intense, or indeed the original. Some people are saying they don't pick up on iris in this and some do. I definitely can pick up that distinctive Dior Homme or Valentino Uomo Intense-esque iris note that is being used a lot in perfume at the moment, men's perfume, including in Prada's L'Homme as well. But it's not nearly as pronounced as it is in these two fragrances, so it's definitely not really part of the lineage of Dior Homme and this series of fragrances. It really smells more like other fragrances out there than its own siblings from the Valentino house. So I definitely agree with other people who've said this is very different. It has that iris thing in there, but it's much more subdued and really it's there, but it's not the main player. It's not very obvious, but it's there. Sandalwood, incense and pepper. You get this lovely sort of soft, sensuous, dark and mysterious, spicy, peppery sweetness with this fragrance. That's basically what you get here. It's a little bit enigmatic, mysterious, and it really truly does feel like an oriental fragrance. It smells somewhat exotic. It's not massively challenging like a really out there niche kind of smell, so it's pretty much in the designer realm, but it's definitely at the more interesting and thought-provoking end of the world of designer fragrances. So I've got to give it credit for that. It doesn't quite have the wham bam I really like that factor that I got with Valentino Uomo Intense. So I think if you put them side to side, a lot of people would probably pick out this as the more obvious thumbs up. This one's really nice, but it's one that you think, I like that, or do I, or am I sure about that one? And over time, the brilliant opening fades away, and what you're left with is quite a sort of subtle, soft, sensuous, spicy scent. I really like it. It lasts very well on the skin. I've got good 7 or 8 hours out of it, so it'll get you through whatever occasion you're wearing it for, no problem. But it doesn't really project massively. It's just good in projection. It's okay, but it's not a big projector. Longevity is good, and kind of what you'd hope for in an eau de parfum. So a good performer, but not beast mode or anything like that. Probably, a little bit more thought-provoking and not as obvious a crowd pleaser as Valentino Uomo Intense. A lot of people were a bit sort of so-so about Valentino Uomo the EDT. I really like that one with its chocolate hazelnut note mixed with the lipsticky iris. So this one, I'm not going to say it's better than the Valentino Uomo Intense. I probably slightly prefer that, maybe just as it's got that really powerful iris note and a lovely kind of dark chocolate element, a really obviously kind of attention-grabbingly nice and not really masculine, but somehow kind of sexy if a man wears it kind of smell about Valentino Uomo Intense. This one, a little bit more challenging and thought-provoking. I know not everyone's liked it. Sebastian from Smelling Great Fragrances said he thought it smelled a little bit like a cheap kind of smokiness. I can see that, not everyone's going to enjoy this one. I personally do enjoy it, and I think that there's something there that I think is quite appealing and interesting and different about this fragrance. I think it's a really interesting composition. It's spicy, woody, nice and sweet, but in a grown-up kind of way. I did get a little bit of a reminiscence actually of Viktor and Rolf's Spice Bomb, and I thought maybe you could describe it as a grown-up version of Viktor and Rolf's Spice Bomb. So if that idea appeals to you, this could be something you'd want to try. It's not an absolute showstopper 10 out of 10, it's going to change your life type of fragrance, and I got this one on a Facebook group from somebody who I suspected bought it, done a split, put out a few mils, then decided he wasn't that bothered about it and has sold it on for quite a cheap price. So some people are buying this one and thinking maybe it wasn't as exciting as we hoped. So don't go and rush and blind buy it. Try before you buy if you can. Here's the box, by the way. Nice box. The bottle, God, I have to mention that, don't I? Fantastic bottle. The plaque on there looks better than the Intense because of the gold plaque, and it takes that aspect from the original bottle, mixes it with the blackness of the Intense version, and it's a fantastic ribbed bottle, which I really like. So 10 out of 10 for the bottle. The scent, I really like it, and I think it's one that it will take time to get to know, so maybe I'll mention it again in another video, but we'll call this a review, although it's a slightly early review as I've only had it about a week. Really, really nice scent, challenging, interesting, thought-provoking, sweet, sensual, spicy, woody, and a little bit peppery as well. Really, really nice, lovely scent. I'd give it an 8.5 at this moment in time. Numbers don't mean much when we're rating perfumes. It's so subjective. Don't go and rush out and blind buy it, but definitely try it if you can. Definitely a thumbs up if you compare it to all the rather bland ho-hum releases that come out every year from designer houses. So well done to Valentino for a really interesting and very nice, sensual, exotic release. Valentino Uomo Noir Absolu. A thumbs up from Mr. Smelly so far. Let me know if you've tried this one and what you think about the others from this line, or anything else you'd like to say about the video in the comments down below. Thank you ever so much for watching. Remember, whatever you're doing in life, let's project. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye. Mr. Smelly.